hope and love. Where do I find it in this crazy old world? I need strategies, strategies for living radio. Your dose of radio rehab. Strategies for living radio. Every time I listen, Lauren and David share strategies for living, and it makes me aware. I got strategies for living radio. Your dose of radio rehab. Strategies for living radio. Your dose of radio rehab. Strategies for living radio.
Oh, we need them. Yeah, we do. We need those strategies. Those strategies for living. So are you ready? You ready for your daily dose of radio rehab?
I feel pretty ready.
There you go. You're right on point today. Hey, folks, welcome. Welcome into another edition of Strategies for Living. I'm Dr. David McMillian. She is psychotherapist, LPC Lauren Leon McMillian. So you're feeling it today, huh?
I'm feeling it.
All right,
I'm
so
allowing myself to feel it.
Oh, okay, but let me say this about feelings.
Okay.
Far as close as our feelings are to most of us,
Mm-hmm.
the question is, do we really understand our feelings?
I
Do we
don't
really?
think the majority of us do. No.
Do we actually? And so, if we don't understand our feelings, or even really what they are for many of us, how can we actually feel those feelings?
And allow them to guide and allow them to be of use and help in our life rather than something so often we try to ignore, stuff away, or escape.
Yeah,
right?
recently I ran into something on Instagram from Emily Lou Seaman, who described herself as an angry teen who could never control her emotions and also provide them a healthy outlet. And that continued, she says, into her adult years, and she found it hard to sit with what she was feeling without either shutting down, reacting, or escaping.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think that she's really kind of summarized for all of us. She's kind of hit the nail on the head.
Well,
And so we're gonna take some of her work today. She's got a guide out there that you can get free. We'll tell you how to do that. How to actually feel your feelings, a practical guide to process your emotions. We're going to talk about that today.
I feel like we couldn't talk about anything more important.
There you go. I like it. Folks, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being a part of Strategies, and we appreciate our sponsors who make it possible. The Robinson Film Center, Azalea Cleaners, Pintail Roofing,
Oof, oof.
Restore Healing, Fertitas Delicatessen, Home of the Muffy, SRT, Sales Training, Uprising Addiction Center, and Mira, Direct Primary Care. How to actually feel your feelings. Today, here on Strategies for Living.
Life gets hard along the way. Gotta get through it day by day. We get strategies right here. Strategies for living radio. I know some radio rehab.
Oh, yeah, we're here.
Strategies for living
Welcome
radio.
Welcome into Strategies for Living Radio. Lauren Leon McMillian. Feeling chipper today?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Bluesy.
Feeling sassy today?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, you got it?
I'm
You're
tuned
ready?
in. David McMillian, thanks for being here with us today here on Strategies for Living. We each day come with an idea, some strategies, maybe some information, hopefully that...
Some lively discussion.
Yeah, and some of which
Some
we're
stretching.
hoping will improve lives and relationships.
Make us all better people.
Make us all better, yeah. And, Lauren and I never come from a place of, oh, we're the experts and here we. Most of what
Even
we
though
share are the things that we need to learn.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And because
The way you learn best is to teach.
And so, anyway.
And to make it a daily part of your life.
Yeah. So I ran across this article on Instagram from Emily Lou Seaman, and you can find out more about her. I think it's emilylouseaman.com. I'll check that and get back to you in a few minutes on it.
Okay.
But she obviously had some trauma in
all God's children got
some trauma. And so
and I tell you what, most all of us have too, and it was, we weren't given instruction on what to do with the feelings, or a healthy way to manage them. We were often modeled some form of
reactivity or
to be afraid of them, to
fear,
ignore them, to shove it down, suck it up. Buttercup, I got that one. Escape, some form of, run away, which often turns into food or drugs or scrolling, right? Or work.
But we're not really taught how to process our emotions.
To regulate.
And so we shut down because certain emotions terrify us, or we suppress them, or we distract ourselves.
It begins from when we're children, right?
Yeah.
And we are looking towards our parents, caregivers, teachers to model for us how to live in the world.
The problem there is that nobody taught our parents how to do that.
Exactly. And so when they...
Or our grandparents how to do this. So it's not a blame thing.
Right. Yeah. Not at all. So, but the idea is that when the child then mirrors back to the parent, perhaps an emotion that they don't know how to deal with, the cycle continues.
Yeah.
Well, there's an option there. The parent can, look at the emotion and decide, this is how I was taught, and let's do something different, or to unconsciously continue the pattern.
And so as adults, the very deepest work that there is to do is to give yourself permission to feel your emotions, and maybe to teach yourself how to, maybe for the first time in your life, how to feel your emotions.
Part of what I think we're missing as a society is we often see emotions as weakness, right?
Yeah. And some of us are even taught that.
Right.
Yeah.
But in truth, emotions really create the life that's possible. They give us power.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I talk with my guides every morning, and one of the ways that they've described it is that the thoughts, the way that we create our life, we're the architects of, right?
We are creators.
And so our thoughts are
I recall that being in a book somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, we wrote it, didn't we? Yeah.
Our thoughts are like the medium that you might use. If you're a painter, you might use some form of acrylic or oil medium.
Right.
Okay. But the emotions are the colors. The emotions are the color palette.
Okay.
And then action, which doesn't have to look like a big action. It can be as simple as breathing or visualization, but some sort of bodily involvement is then the tool. In this analogy, it could be the paintbrush, right? And so we need all of them in order to create this beautiful life. And if we're not including the emotions, we're living in a colorless world.
And I love the example that you're giving, Lauren, because, recently we were at the store in the paint section picking out paint. And, whether it's Home Desperate or Lowe's or Sherwin, wherever you are, there's a big wall with all kinds of different the palettes there, and it goes on. It seems to go on and on and on with the different colors. Obviously, any of us because, what one person finds beautiful, another person might find hideous. But you look at that, you look at that wall of color samples,
Right.
chips, and some of them are just very appealing. You're drawn towards them, and some of them you go, yuck. Why would I have that
And
in a room?
here's something a little deeper, right? What we know of as color is simply a frequency of light.
Okay.
Right.
Maury, you are getting deep today. I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, you get to. Why don't you tune in and figure that out?
I get to process,
You get
right?
to process that.
Well, here's the deal. As I said, the deepest work we can do is to give ourselves permission to feel the feelings, actually sit with them, let them move through you. Because it was all, that was always what was meant to be. And there's going to be a lot of different colors. So whatever your feelings are valid,
Yeah,
And-
you feel what you feel.
Yeah, absolutely.
and
Feelings
that's
aren't right.
okay.
Feelings aren't wrong.
They're
feelings.
They're information. They're messengers. Something I think people often get confused is that emotions are information. They're not instructions.
Right.
Right. So you don't have to take direction from the emotion. They're simply information.
Right.
A message.
Now I did recheck the. I gave the correct website.
Okay.
Emily Lou Seaman.
And how would you spell
.com. EMMYLOU Seaman SEAMAN.
Okay.
So just run all of that together. www.emilylouseaman.com, because what she's got there, and we're referencing it partly today. She's got a free download. It's a she's got, I think, more than one, but it's a beginning place to help you begin to process. One of the ones you can download is How to Actually Feel Your Feelings, and a practical guide to process your emotions. And so, I find that her work, and I don't know much about her, although the work that I'm seeing is indicating to me this is pretty good stuff. So, look her up, and you can get the download if you like. So, emotions, you touched on this kind of earlier, and we talk about it a lot here on Strategies. Emotions are the body's way of communicating with you.
Yes.
Emotions, energy in motion. So every single every emotion has a message, and it also has a purpose, even the ones that we label as bad.
Right.
Are negative.
So-
and just by labeling something, we might be
You create
tempted.
an experience around
Right.
it.
So
right?
be careful. Be careful.
And so it's, there really aren't any bad emotions.
Well, and then there aren't any really good emotions.
Right. But
They're just emotions.
Based on our upbringing, our experience with them, and how we learn to manage, or how we learn to allow them really to manage us,
That's a key.
depends, makes it so that we label them as bad, right?
Yeah.
If we grew up in a household where anger was not allowed to be expressed, right? And when anytime as a young child, when you don't know anything, you just express the anger, and it's met with a punishment or discipline of some sort, you hook that together.
Absolutely.
And
And the
anger
same
becomes a bad emotion.
Right. And I mean, the same
Just an
thing could be
example.
in some households, sadness.
Yeah.
I mean,
And believe it or not, for happiness as well.
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I've seen so many cases where, a parent may see a child's happiness and feel threatened because they didn't get to experience happiness.
Right. And so in some
that-
way, shape, or form, they slam it down.
Yeah, not necessarily, and almost never consciously.
Right.
But
right.
it is a script and a story that happens.
Yeah.
And so people can even grow up unconsciously viewing happiness as something that's negative or frightening or just unfamiliar,
Yeah.
maybe is the better word, right?
What happens is we learn how, and we think we're forced to suppress the emotions or ignore them, or we're shamed in some way if we express them, and so.
Well, I mean, we're resourceful people, right? And as children, we have these needs primarily of attachment, right? And so if expressing a feeling or an idea, any form of expression gets in the way of me meeting my need of attachment
With my caregiver. Right.
I'm going to find some way to manage that so that I can get it.
However that
may be. However that works out to happen. And we carry that. We carry that through the rest of our lives, and unless and until we become aware and decide to do something different.
And decide to, hey, I really need to do some work around this, and it's time.
Yeah.
We're talking about that and more today. We'll come back and dive into the fact that every emotion has a message and more. We're talking about how to actually feel your feelings today, kind of a practical guide to process our emotions. Talking about that today here on Strategies for Living. We'll be right back.
Tune in daily, find the light. Healthy mind and spirits bright. Strategies for living strong. Feel the vibe, it won't go wrong. Body moves and soul align. Catch the rhythm, feel the time. Radio rehab every day. Chase those clouds of gray away. Your daily dose of radio rehab. Lift you up when skies seem trapped. Mind and body, spirits free. Living life in harmony.
And welcome back in. Welcome back into Strategies for Living. Lauren Leon McMillian, David McMillan, feeling our feelings today. What does that really mean? How do you actually do it? How do you feel your feelings? And we're kind of looking at a practical guide today to do that. Let me reiterate something that we touched on last segment, Lauren, and that is every emotion has a message.
Yep.
Now, I'm not necessarily
They don't just
saying
happen for no reason.
No. So I'm not necessarily saying that we have to dive deep into every emotion. We're emotional people, and we have emotions, multiple ones daily, right?
Right.
But if we can understand that every emotion has a message. So anger,
it's like a notification.
Yeah, anger shows you somebody has crossed your boundaries. Mm-hmm. Fear protects you from the unknown. It danger, but can also stop you from growing.
Yes.
So it's not just a one-way thing. Anxiety says you're living in the future and you need to come. It's inviting us to come back to the present.
Mm-hmm.
Sadness says something's been lost. I've lost something. I've lost something that's important to me.
Yeah.
And it invites us to honor the loss. Guilt says that some recent action didn't line up with my values, my personal values. And then resentment shows you where you're saying yes when you really feel no and want to say no, right? Yeah. So, again, that's just a brief example
right. And
of
those
the messages that can be contained.
Those are typical, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be very individual. Yes, of course, anger in its purest form is often some form of inner fire. Yes, to say there's a boundary somewhere.
Right.
But for different people, it could mean something different. And depending on the intensity, right, and how long you've been shoving this emotion aside, it could have deeper layers of messages that it's asking you to look at.
Right.
Right.
Right. And it's complicated.
Yeah.
Especially, I think during our teen years. And I think this can happen with boys and girls, but during our teen years, especially for boys, they can pull that anger out.
I think that's across the board.
Yeah, probably so. Probably so.
Yeah.
But that anger can be used to block.
Yes.
And when it is successful, as oftentimes it is, somebody, even a parental unit, will back off.
And actually using understanding that anger is a boundary makes total sense that it appears to a greater degree during adolescence.
Yeah.
Because it is a natural time in development where you are being asked as a human to create more boundaries.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so that increase in anger from a psycho-developmental perspective makes total sense.
Yeah.
Now, what we do with those feelings, how we respond to them both in ourselves and in others can make a world of difference into what becomes, right?
A lot of people try and go to therapy, to counseling, or to coaching, or whatever, and they quit too soon. And, part of the reason for that is because, what that process offers us to do is hopefully provide a safe, healthy outlet for us to
feel the feelings,
sit with the feelings, maybe for the first time in our life,
Ooh.
without reacting, without shutting down, without escaping into our head.
Boy, we have some creative ways, sneaky ways, at all costs avoid feeling the feelings, right? I mean, so many of my clients, myself included, in the past, have a great way to just what I call intellectualizing, right?
Yep.
I can say I feel this, but I'm not really feeling it in the body, which is what the emotion is asking you to do, is asking you to come and transform it, to allow it to alchemize something within you. And if you keep it in your head, you can't do that.
And when we don't do this, and I think that this is really a key, it can be dangerous to us. It can be even
physically
deadly to us. I worked with a gentleman several years ago, many, many, many years ago. And he was, if back in the day when I worked with him, if you had asked about him and his company, he would have been on the top of everybody's list in his chosen profession. Okay?
Yeah.
And he sought me out. He came into therapy. And the man was tired. The man was exhausted. He was beyond exhausted.
Okay. Burnt out, huh?
Totally.
Yeah.
And totally in need of figuring out, how do I get myself repositioned here? He didn't want out.
Right.
He didn't want to shut his company down, or he had a lot of employees. He didn't want to let anybody down.
Mm-hmm. So he was still wanting to enjoy the work.
He wanted to enjoy the work. He did not enjoy the work. He wanted to again. He wanted to get back to how it was when he first started and began to build.
Right.
At any rate, I picked up on this, and he had he was in a long-term marriage.
Mm-hmm.
I invited his wife to come in with him. I invited him to invite his wife in.
Yeah.
And I was astounded.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was expecting to get, I hear him. I've been I was kind of hoping that I would get, oh gosh, I'm so glad we're to this, let's see what we can do together.
Yeah.
Instead, what I got was, He doesn't have a choice. Do you realize what bills we have to pay? Do you realize how important it is for him to continue to have the success that he has? And it was almost an angry, how dare he?
Yeah.
How dare he come into some counselor's office and feign exhaustion? Okay, now let me underscore why I'm sharing this story.
Okay.
Okay. Because I didn't invite the wife back.
Yeah, I could understand that.
I continued to work with the gentleman. And unfortunately.
But it was good information for you to see the whole picture.
It was vital information. Yeah. Unfortunately, he came to a place that it was a hopeless, and he wasn't, clinically depressed or anything. He didn't need to be on an antidepressant or anything. Because there was a true reason.
Well, it sounds like situational depression.
Right.
To some degree.
But the end of the story, the rest of the story, as Paul Harvey used to say, it wasn't long before this gentleman developed cancer. A very, a very it was an aggressive type of cancer. And unfortunately, his treatment, stopped our sessions together, and he didn't last long.
Wow.
He found a way out.
Yeah.
His body found a way out.
Yeah. So if you're not listening, kind of the underlying thread, I can hear you trying to warn us about if we're not listening to our feelings and to the messages our body is sending, then it will continue to get louder and louder and louder until eventually we transition.
And even people that love us, I don't have any doubt that the woman loved this man.
Yes.
They had been together. It was a long-term marriage. They had been together a long time. However, she wasn't an evil. I don't see her at all as an evil person. No. She wasn't. She just had a practical personality, and hey, we've got bills to pay. You don't have time for this.
Right.
Well,
we don't have time to be feeling.
Yeah.
Well.
So again, that's just
it's another classic example of a good message.
Yeah.
Because so often I have theorized that depression, if someone is depressed, the message is deep rest. The message from being depressed is I need deep rest.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I need deep rest. And it's our job.
It's a scream for deep rest.
And it's our job to figure out what that deep rest means for me. Now, this is a cautionary tale, and I don't mean at all to put down doctors, psychiatrists, prescribing psychologists, or pharmaceutical companies. Right. I don't mean that at all. Mm-hmm. But maybe we're too quick sometimes to throw a pill at something. Yeah. That needs something.
It's that idea of trying to throw out the messenger, trying to throw out throw things at symptoms when we're not hearing and listening to the root cause.
Because don't get me wrong, Prozac works, Zoloft works,
sure,
Paxil works. And I'm just hitting the old ones. They're powerful. Yeah. But what they do, the mechanism, the only thing they can do is depress more. Yeah. Even though it makes me feel better on a mental level.
But physically it's
if it blocks you from really doing the work, then be careful, be cautious. We're talking about feeling our feelings today. When we come back, we're going to have some very practical ways to sit with your feelings. Strategies, if you will.
All right.
We'll be back. More strategies to come.
We all have problems every day. We all need help along the way. We need strategies for living radio.
Welcome back into Strategies for Living Radio. Lauren Leon McMillian, David McMillian. Lots of work to do today here with what remains of Strategies for Living, because we got to give some strategies.
We got to get into it.
Yeah, we do. So when a feeling rises, one of the first steps is to stop and breathe and observe.
In other words, really truly allow feeling.
Yes.
In the most root sense of the word. Where is it in my body? What does it feel like if I could touch it? What's the temperature? What's the texture?
Yeah.
Maybe it's a tightness in my stomach.
Yeah, and how do we do this? Well, you got to stop. You got to stop, and you've got to
become present.
Yep, and observe what's happening inside of you, because your feelings and your thoughts and your sensations in your body are messengers. So emotions are like waves. They, a lot of us this time of year go spend time at the ocean. I love to watch the waves, just sit there and watch the waves come and go and come and go and come and go. And what do we notice? Well, they rise and they fall. Well, and they last, what? Just a few seconds.
Yeah. And it's true of feelings too. Physiologically, we know a pure feeling, if you allow yourself to do this work of just feeling it, 90 seconds.
Yeah. If you feel overwhelmed, you can do a simple thing. Place your hand on your heart, or take your hands and hug yourself, or say to yourself, remind yourself, I am safe. And again, the wave is going to come, the wave is going to go.
Allow it to be to the emotion, right?
Right.
So often if we have a sense of frustration or anger, that emotion is not really warranting you to sit still and to hold it so much as to be moved. It's more of an energy.
Absolutely.
So if you've got some sort of, ask your body, what do I need to move this? And sometimes,
the second step will help.
Okay, which
is naming the feeling.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So ask yourself, what am I feeling? And then name that feeling, but name it without judgment. So, this is sadness, or this is anxiety, or this is fear, or this is shame. Yeah. Say it out loud.
And I love the idea of, I'm big on depersonalizing rather than saying I'm sad, I'm angry, by putting some distance, because you are not the feeling, right?
Right.
And so if you could say something like, oh, sadness has come to visit.
Yeah. Anger has come
to visit. What is it at my door here for?
Yeah.
What message does it have for me?
All right. Now, many of us don't have the vocabulary. We don't have the vocabulary for our feelings. And so if you're not sure, there's something, and you can get this at Emily Lou Seaman's website.
And there's tons of other variations. One doesn't
this one isn't the be all end all.
With you.
No.
There's tons of them.
No.
And you find your favorite one that gives you the best vocabulary.
But it's called a feelings wheel.
Yeah.
And you can also get this at feelingswheel.com. And like Lauren says, there's many of them out there.
Yeah, and it's just a way to build the vocabulary around.
Yeah, and what this one names 7 basic feelings. Okay. With then the wheel is all kinds of variations of those spreading out, right?
Right.
I tend to use less than 7 as the basics. I use
5.
Mad, sad, glad, fear, sex.
Yeah.
And that then everything goes out from there. But it doesn't matter, because again, getting a hold of a tool like the feeling wheel and letting yourself start in the center with whatever is identified by the author as being the core emotions.
Okay.
And
then getting more specific.
That's taking the wheel out. And in this particular wheel, and most of them I've seen, there are the core, and then there's 2 layers. And of course, that third layer, there's a lot of different labels that are all, and that the whole point is they're variations of what's at the core, right?
And I also want to address that it's really important that we begin to build the vocabulary, but then also to recognize, probably even more often than not, there is a primary and a secondary emotion. And what
Yeah.
I mean by that is not just getting more specific than the core. It's that one emotion that we're more familiar with can often hide or cover another, right? So if I grew up in a family where it was safe and most appropriate and okay to express anger,
Yeah.
I might experience anger frequently.
You grew up in an Italian family.
Actually, that's not actually. I did grow up in an Italian family, but that was not the case for me.
Yeah.
As a girl, as a
Yeah,
female,
yeah.
let me say that.
Okay. Yeah.
So you might ask yourself, okay, I feel angry, but what might be underneath this emotion? Because oftentimes there's something else.
One way you can get there is the next strategy is to identify and locate it in the body. Where am I feeling this in my body?
Yeah.
So you can do a slow, top to bottom scan. Where do I feel this the most? Is it a lump in the throat? Is it a tightness in the chest? Is it a tenseness in my shoulders?
Sweaty
And then
palms.
yeah, and so just to say where it is, and then describe it in a couple of words. Is it tight? Is it hot? Is it heavy? What is it?
Is
So
it
give
empty?
give yourself permission to say to yourself, you can be here without trying to control it or without trying to escape it. That's the non-judgment.
Right.
And allow sighs or tears or tiny shakes or any kind of movement. And then the next step is to validate it.
I think what you just said needs reiterating, though, to allow the body to do what it might need
Right.
to do.
And
to
we'll
release.
we will do more shows on this, but
Okay.
I want to finish
gotta
this
get
today
through.
because we don't have much time left.
Keeping me on track.
The next thing we got to do is to validate that feeling. When you validate your feelings, you're telling yourself your feelings are valid and you're allowed to express them.
Yes.
So you don't need to fix how you're feeling. Just let it be.
Yeah, and
Let it exist.
So often we tell ourselves, I shouldn't feel this, and that is the exact opposite.
And then express it. Again, without judgment, express the feeling. Give the feeling room to exist without rushing to fix or suppress it. You might sigh, you might cry, you might journal, but find a way to sit with it. And then to listen to the feeling. Every feeling carries a message, as we've said. So ask yourself the simple question, what is this feeling inviting me to look at? What is this feeling trying to tell me? And, I feel blank because blank. Fill in the blank. What was a boundary crossed? Do I feel unseen or unheard? Do I feel dismissed? And do one small thing that helps you feel better, whether it's take a 10-minute break, whether it's send a message to set a boundary, or whether it's to ask somebody for a support, to support you. Listen to the feeling and then express it. So again, we got to do more.
We
on
got to
this.
do more.
Yeah, because
I've got more to say.
There's
you're fisting me over here.
because we got
Throwing the fist at me.
we got 13
gotta
seconds
go.
before break.
Shut up.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll certainly do. But
I feel rushed.
could there be anything more important than our feelings? We'll sit with that.
I will.
We'll be
I'll
back
let it
here
move.
on Strategies. So that nobody misunderstands.
Lord.
Yes. In the last segment, I was trying to
Got to clear it up.
bring you along, and I used a signal.
Right.
You said, you're fisting me. Well, the signal of a fist means,
Shut
in
up.
broadcasting, it means hurry,
Yeah.
get out,
Yes.
wrap up.
Yes.
And so
Were you feeling embarrassed?
I
I'm
wasn't,
sorry.
folks, I was not shaking my fist at Lauren. I would never do that.
Yeah.
Welcome back into Strategies for a Living. And I just I did some of what we talked about
Yes,
today, didn't I?
you did.
I expressed a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And that, it's so important what we've talked about today. What's your takeaway? And here's the fist. You got a minute.
Oh man, I would leave people with the idea that what if what we've ignored and shut down and made to be weak can be our greatest power, right?
Yeah.
That our emotions aren't our enemy; they're actually our internal guidance system.
Absolutely.
And so, how can we better see them as the children they are?
And if you will see that as an internal guidance system, you might find for the first time in your life, whether you're 30, whether you're 40, whether you're 70, whether you're 80, you might find for the first time in your life, wow, I've got something that I might have never known that I had that is valuable, and it's like a radar. I can, once I learn to use it, and the work is learning.
Yes.
But once I learn to use it, it's like radar. It can help me move through so much of life that I haven't had the tool to help me move through. Lauren, thank you. Folks, thank you. We appreciate you being a part of Strategies, and we appreciate our sponsors. Robinson Film Center, Azalea Cleaners, Pintail Roofing, Restore Healing, Fertitta's Delicatessen, home of the Buffys, SRT, Sales Training, Uprising, Addiction Center, and Mira, Direct Primary Care. If today were the last day of your life, you only had one more phone call that you could make, who is it that you'd call? And what is it that you'd say? And why? Why are you waiting? Make the call. For Lauren Leon McMillian, I'm David McMillian. See you next time right here on Strategies for Living